think I did it. I think we're live. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Ooh, it's a bright day. It's a bright day. Bright, sunshiny day. Yay. Okay, good. I did bring my second pair of glasses in case, in case I have to read the chat better. I brought my second pair of glasses. That, and I also brought these new Oracle deck that my son got me for my birthday, because it was my birthday last Monday. This past Monday, I didn't even remember to talk about it on my live stream. I was like, what the heck? Hi, Susan. Glad to see you here. So I'm going to try and take my time here, let some people get in here before I start talking about the Black Mirror episode. I guess I'll just give you guys a little bit of some updates of what's going on with me over here. I had a really, really good birthday. Let's see, there was a couple things that I forgot to tell you about last week, and I remembered them right after I got off the stream. So I was kind of pissed at myself for not remembering this at the time, because I was telling you guys about like telepathic messages and the experiments that I've been running. Okay, and so one of the experiments that I have been running that I forgot, and I have mentioned this once before, that I tried this. I was doing these manifestation sessions, I guess you could say, with a friend of mine, and my power had gone out at one point. And so we both basically decided, okay, we're going to manifest my power coming back on, right? And so we got into our meditative space, because normally, like, when my power goes out, it goes out for a while, okay? Because that's just the type of area I live in at this point. And so we went into that meditative state, and I went and I felt this like shock come out of my heart, like a okay, I want this to happen. And it went whoop, and the power came back on. Okay. So I'd already done this one other time before, but how often am I really going to get an opportunity for this, right? So I'm like, especially because to do it, like, it's like almost like beginner's luck the first time it happens. And then it's like, or like a page of rods, you know what I'm saying? It's like that first time you have that beginner's luck and you're able to do it. But then like the second time, it's like, oh, now I got to put some more actual effort into it, right? So it's a couple weeks ago now at this point. This is when I was telling you guys, like, I was seeing all these angel sequence numbers everywhere, seeing all these repeating numbers everywhere, like everything I was thinking, it was like people were saying the things, I would think it, and then people would say the things, and I was like, I'm in alignment. I'm in alignment with my mission, or whatever it is that you want to, however you want to put it for yourself. So so in that same time period, okay, within that same like day or two, okay, I forget exactly how it happened. I went to go pick up my sons from school. I came home and the power went out. The power had gone out while I was picking them up. And I was so frustrated, because I was like, okay, I have a generator, but the power's been out for a while now, and everyone was overwhelming me. And I was like, nope, you know what? I'm going to leave the house for a minute, because I didn't even have it in me energetically to try and manifest the power coming back on, because of how frustrated and overwhelmed I was. And so I'd already been thinking about going to get my oil changed that day. And honestly, I had been thinking about this one particular guy at the oil shop that always is like kind of flirty with me whenever I go there. And it makes me really nervous. I'll just tell you the truth. It's almost like, I don't know if I like it or I don't like it. I don't really know, because he's this younger kid. And so he's really, really nice. And so I was like, oh, if I go get my oil changed, I'm going to have to interact with him. And that's going to be like, it's a little stressful. So I'm like, but at this point, all of this stuff is going on in my house. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do this. Right. And so I leave to calm myself down so I can come back and try to manifest my power on. And I'm like, you know what? In the car, I was already feeling like in alignment. And I told myself, I said, no, this is what's going to happen. I'm choosing my timeline. The timeline I'm choosing is I'm going to go get my oil changed. And when I come home, the power is going to be back on. And so I went, I got my oil changed, and of course the guy was there, and of course he made me nervous, and of course he had to be like, that's so crazy. I was just thinking about you earlier today. That's so, I mean, I can't believe that. Like, I realized, I was like, wow, I haven't seen her in a while. I wonder how her car is doing, or because I used to go and get my oil checked like once a week, and I had stopped doing that because I got my car kind of fixed. So I'm like, well, surprise, surprise. Wow, you picked up on my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a normal thing for me at this point. And so I go, I get my oil changed, I come home, and my power was back on. So I was like, okay, this is working. I'm it's like, it's like sharpening a knife. You know what I'm saying? Manifesting something like in the moment, choosing a timeline in the moment that you want. You have to practice at it. It's also like the Two of Rods I'm seeing. Okay, like the Two of Rods, it's like Spirit gives you dominion over your own life, and you have to take the actions to manifest the things you want. Okay, and so on that note, that's what I forgot to tell you about last week. I see a couple people have showed up already, so I'm just going to go ahead and give a quick shout out to everyone who's in the chat. Yes, hi Victor, thank you. I already said hi to Susan. Miss White Swan, lovely to see you here. Life of Brian, good to see you. I got some exciting news about that too. There's some stuff. All right. Hi Jason, always a pleasure. Crispy Knee, doing it. Heidi Pop, I love ya. Yes. Okay. So I guess I'm going to be going to a conference in July. I made the decision and everything seemed to kind of line up. And yeah, I will be going to, oh Lord, Awakening the Dream. I can't remember the name of the conference. I'm sure Victor knows what it is. But anyway, it's going to be in Mount Shasta, the 16th to the 20th, or to the 21st, I guess. And I'm going to it, and I'm going to see some people there. Victor's going to be there. Brian is supposed to come along. Susan's going to be there. So it's not too late if you guys want to come. Definitely highly recommend you guys going. It will be a lot of fun. I already get the sense. I can feel it already because we're only a month out, and I can usually feel pretty good into what the timeline is going to be and what the experience is going to be like a month out. I can definitely feel it. And since it's only that far away, it's like, I can tell. I just feel it in my body. Like it feels like this is going to be a good experience, and I can't say that is true for every single one of these things that I go to. Like there are some of them, like the what was it? Not the Full Disclosure Now, but the Journey to Truth one that I went to before that. I could feel that there was something going to be off with that one, and it was a completely different experience than the two times before that. And we're going to be getting into some of that today when I address the rumors, okay, because I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut and I have an opinion on some things. And so we're going to be going into that. And I'm sorry for the people if you came and you hear that and your ears perk up and you're like, oh, I want to hear all about that right now. I'm not going to be talking about that until after I do the Black Mirror episode. So you can always come back or rewatch the stream later if that's all you're here for. I understand, because that's an exciting, thing to kind of hear about. And I want people's opinions. I want people to know. I'm tired of. I just, if we're going to live in this world honestly, then especially when we are influencers, I suppose you could say, then being transparent with our lives and who we are and what's really happening in them is kind of important. It's kind of an important thing. So we're going to talk about that. I've been having, ever since my stream last week, I've been feeling really good, actually. Me and my guide, we've been talking again, and he was very happy with my stream. Let's just say he was very happy I came out here and I stopped obfuscating the frequency of truth, which, look, I can actually say the word obfuscate now, which I'm pretty proud of myself for being able to do, because I couldn't at first. I literally could not. Last week I was like, what? How do I say that word? I can say it now. And now it's so funny because the word is like appearing to me everywhere. I'm like using it. Oh, this person, I can see it. They're obfuscating. They're obfuscating the truth, and so I'm going to talk about that. Oh, I'm going to spill it. Because here's the thing. I was hesitant to come out here and say some of the things. And then it was like, I was just praying to God, like, God, help me, show me what it is that I need to be talking about. Like, would anyone even support me or back me up on this? And I'll tell you, the people that just randomly came to me and brought up the stuff on their own and was like, this is how I feel about it. And it was like exactly what I'd been feeling too. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna talk about it, because even though I'm a small channel, I'm still I am a part of this community, and I know that I'm going to honor that. I'm going to honor the fact that I share myself with you guys, whoever it might be. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I was coming across the right way, but anyway, that's what we're going to do. Yes, exactly. Exactly. The power of Christ compels me to speak it, and I will. So, but let's go ahead and oh, I'm glad to see you popped in here. Joanna, nice to see you. So, anyway, let's get into the Black Mirror episode though first, right? Let's talk about that real quick first. Oh, maybe I should have my fan on me because I'm actually getting a little. I turned off my fan because I didn't want it to be too loud, but now I'm like getting a little bit overheated. And with my freaking hair, you can't even tell. You can't even see my outfit. That's why I'm wearing it. I don't want it to be seen a little bit. Anyway, so 15 million merits. I really, really like this episode of Black Mirror, even though, as you all know, Black Mirror episodes are always dark for the most part. And I think there was only one with a happy ending, and that was Hang the DJ, which was the other episode that I was thinking about going over, but I decided to go with 15 million merits instead this time. And so let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so 15 million merits starts off with this young man, and he is living a life in a box. He's living a life in a box. He has a room that has a bed. It's surrounded by screens, and it wakes him up every day with animations. Basically, he has this avatar of himself that that will he can pick out and change different clothes. It would be like the representation of him in other places for other people to interact with, right? And so he wakes up, he gets ready, and he goes to do what he does every single day. And at this point, you can kind of see that on the screens that are always surrounding him, okay, they play advertisements. Okay, and at one point he is like, oh, I'm so tired of seeing this advertisement. And he tries to hide his eyes, and the advertisement and the screens, they go red, and they will not let him not see the advertisement. Like, he has to. It'll start beeping and beeping and beeping until he finally opens his eyes and he watches whatever advertisement it is that they have for him. Okay. Now, he happens to have a lot of money, a lot of credits in this world. All right. He happens to have over 15 million, what they call merits. Okay. And at first you don't really know, how did he get that much? Is that a lot? You don't even really know. And so he goes out to do what he does every single day, which is to go out into the work environment with these other people, these other humans. They don't really seem like coworkers though, as much as just other people who are there doing the same job, which is to get on these bicycles, and they have a screen in front of them, and they have these earbuds they can put in. Everyone has their own earbuds they put in, and they go deep into the ear, so it's like you can't hear nothing else. Okay, and then they pedal. They pedal, and as they're pedaling, it's supposedly powering something, right? So no one knows though. No one knows what is this even powering? They end up mentioning this at the end. It's like, we don't even know what it is that we're powering here, but everyone does this. And there's rows of just bikes where people are just pedaling and watching whatever entertainment that they've chosen to watch that day. Okay. And there's this one guy that works next to the gentleman. Oh man, I wish, this is bad. I don't remember his name because it was a weird name. Okay, so what should I call him? We'll just call him Bob. Okay, we're just gonna call him Bob. And so Bob is working next to this guy, and it's the actor from the movie Get Out. Just so you know, the black guy that is the one that gets into the sunken place. If anyone has seen that movie Get Out, so that's who's doing. This is the main character. Okay, and so Bob is there, and he kind of looks over and he sees the guy who's pedaling the bikes next to him, and this guy is watching the TV screen, and he's watching some show where basically these really overweight people are being force-fed food, and he just thinks it's hilarious. He finds it so funny. It's kind of grotesque. And at one point, someone is walking behind him, a worker that is a cleaner, okay, like a housekeeper basically, is walking behind him, and the housekeepers have to wear these yellow outfits, and they're all a little bit overweight. Okay, and so this guy, he gets pissed off because he's like, "Oh, you're fat, and you're disgusting, and you're in my reflection on my screen. Like, how dare you?" and he tells them to go away. He throws a piece of garbage at them, and he looks down, and as he throws this garbage, he notices that this one man is on the bike, and he's kind of huffing and puffing. He's actually kind of struggling a little bit to do the bike, and he's like, oh man, he's going to become one of the yellow ones soon, right? So you discover that while you're doing this pedaling, that if you end up being overweight and you can't pedal on the bike, you get demoted into being like a housekeeper worker, like, lower and lower, I guess, apparently. So we're following Bob throughout the day, and he goes and like literally everything is electronic. Even when they go to the vending machines, the vending machine food, it isn't even, you can't even see the food. All right, it's like just a screen with digital options, and they show you digital pictures. And so he picks an apple and it gets stuck, right? And so this girl who actually kind of has a crush on him secretly that never really goes anywhere, but she shows him that there's actually a secret technique and there's a trick to get this apple that is stuck in the vending machine out. And so he's like, oh wow, thank you so much, that was really nice of you. And so he keeps going on, and there's this new girl. He goes to the bathroom, right? He goes to the bathroom, he's taking a break, and he hears this singing in the bathroom. And there's this girl, and it's crazy because the song she's singing is actually a Black Mirror special song. It's not that it's like made for Black Mirror, but they use this song repeatedly in other episodes too. So whoever is the creator of Black Mirror, they really love this song. And I posted it at the beginning of the stream for anyone who cares to take a listen to it. And so she's in the bathroom, or he's in the bathroom, and he hears this woman singing, and she's singing the song. She's singing, it's called But Anyone Who Knows What Love Is, basically. Anyone who knows what love is. And she's basically singing, you can blame me, you can shame me, and I'll still care for you. You can run around, even push me down, still I'll be there for you. The world may think I'm foolish, they can't see you like I can. But anyone who knows what love is will understand. Right? Sorry, I sang that a little lower note there. I went down a little lower note because I can't hardly say the lyrics without singing. So anyway, so this is what she's singing. And he's so taken back by it because it's something real. It's something real for the first time in his world. And so he's absolutely enamored with her, like right off the bat. And so over the next couple days, they start to get to know each other. Okay. She's new to the section. Okay. And she notices that he has these 15 million merits, over 15 million merits. And so she's asking him, like, oh, how did you get that? Like, how long did that take you to get? And he said, well, actually, it was an inheritance. He said he had a brother who died, and that brother left him all of his merits. And so now he's just been saving them up. And she's like, oh, wow, like, that's really cool. And they get to talking about this one TV show that everyone watches, and it's called Hot Shot. Okay. And basically, it's like an American Idol for all the workers. So let's say if you pedal long enough and you gather up all these merits, because that's what you get for pedaling. You get merits in exchange, and that's what you use to buy your food, and that's what you use to pay for your toothpaste and like all the things that you could ever want that aren't physical, like your avatar figure, like different clothes for it and everything like that. You use these merits. Okay. And so Hot Shot, it gives people a chance to show off their talents and possibly get their way out of there into a new life for themselves. Okay. And obviously they have people who have won in the past who are promoting the show still. Like I made it out. I took a chance and I saved up and I came out here and I sang, and now I'm number one out here singing, And so he starts to get this idea, Bob does. Like, this girl has something real. She has some beauty and love inside her heart when she sings, and he can feel it. And he wants to buy her ticket to try and go on the show Hot Shot. And at first, so they have this talk about it, all right? And they go to this place. And in this place, you actually can see where they are at. And it looks like they are in some kind of underground facility. It looks like even a parking garage. And all the layers, though, of the parking garage are just layers of lines of um, the bicycles that people tread on in order to power up whatever it is that they're powering up and earning their merits. It's full of it. So it's like, what happened to humanity in this? Is this just like a special subsection, like of just like you happen to be bad in luck, bad lot in life, so to speak, and so therefore you're put and this is your job, like you have to just pedal these bikes all day long for the rest for your life or however long it is until maybe you can get a chance at being on Hot Shot and possibly getting out of there, right? So the girl, she doesn't want to take it at first. She's like, no, that's too much. That's too much money. Like, who knows how long that even took your brother to gather. And I can't have you spend that on me. Like, you don't even really know me. And she's sincere. Like, she's not taking advantage of him or anything like that. You can tell. Like, they're developing like real feelings for each other. Okay. Real caring, because in the world that they live in, like I said, nothing is real. Everything is digital. They own nothing, and they are expected to be happy with that. And so they both go back to their respective boxes, okay, with their screens on it. And he does it. He purchases her ticket to Hot Shot and he sends it to her, and she gets it. And she's like, wow, like he really did it. I'm really going to get this chance to do this. And as he's sitting there happy that he did this nice thing for this young lady, a porn advertisement comes up on the screen. And he is like just not in the mood to be watching this type of thing. And so, but you have to watch the ad, right? You can't just close your eyes and not watch it. But luckily, he has money that he can go ahead and he can pay to skip over the ad. Okay, but now that he's down to 50, now that he spent those 15 million merits, he doesn't have as much. And so he pays for this ad to be skipped, and you notice that it's like gone down to like 800 something merits now. So if he wants to skip future ads, he might not be able to pay for that, and that's going to come up in the future part of this episode. So we're about to get there pretty quick though. So I didn't plan on taking too long to explain all this. I just really like the concept of this episode, and so fast forward to the next day. They're going to go on the show Hot Shot. They have their ticket. She gets to take one family member or companion with her. And when he gets there, they get to this backstage waiting room, basically. And he has to get this semi-permanent tattoo of a star on his hand in order to be granted access into this backstage room. And so they do that. And he asks, well, how long is this going to last? Because it like burned. And they said it will last about 6 months or 2 to 6 months. Okay. So it's going to eventually fade off. But for now, you'll have access to come to this backstage area. And so there's a lot of people that start to fill up that backstage area. There's a lot of people that are coming out there to put their talents out in front of the three judges. Okay. And they have one guy, basically, from what it sounded like to me or what it looked like, is these three judges have other businesses and they're there to try and successfully find the best talent and then get those people and put them into whatever business it is that they're in. All right. And so they're really happy and they're really excited, and you can't keep anything physical. Okay. But the girl, okay, I think her name was Abby. I'm pretty sure it was Abby. She makes these little origami penguins that can be flattened. And so she gives him one to thank him and says, if you put it in your waistband, they won't be able to tell that you have it, and therefore you'll be able to keep it. And he's so touched and he's so moved. And this is like a really amazing opportunity, and they're excited and they're ready to go out there. She's ready to go on stage. And the lady, the backstage director, comes up and she says, okay, before you get out there though, you have to drink this drink, because everyone has to drink this drink, and it will help you just not feel so woozy under the lights and everything like that. And the drink is called Compliance. So she starts drinking this drink, and she's like, I'm starting to feel a little weird. And they make the camera shot look a little bit off, where it's like, okay, you can tell like she's being affected on some physiological level from this drink. But he can't tell. But Bob, he can't tell that Abby's been affected like this. And she's unsure of it because, this is new to her too. And the director's there, and she's walking her out to the stage, and she says, make sure did you finish all your compliance? Did you drink all that drink? And you have to drink it all, you know. And so she drinks, she finishes it all, and she gives Bob the leftover container. Okay, and he holds on to this container. This is important for later on too. So he holds on to this container. And so Abby, she goes out there and she gathers up her courage and she sings this song. And at first people are kind of like not really sure what to think about it, but then you start to see all, because you know the three judges in the background is a screen and it has all these avatars that are in the studio, in the stands, and you find out because they show through the camera flashes, right, that all these avatars are all the people watching her from the bikes, right? And so she's singing and people are really loving it, and they're like even like tearing up a little bit. Like one guy's like, wow, this is real, this is beautiful. And so she sings her whole song, and then the judges, they start to lay into her, not because she was a bad singer, but because they just feel like, you know what, we had too many singers last year. Like our quota for singers, the saturation for it, you know, like you're an above average singer, but you know, that's not really where your talent would lie. In fact, you're an absolute dropout, basically, physically. You know what you would do? You would do so much better in this guy's line of business. And the one white judge points down to this black judge, and it's his business. He runs. Remember the advertisement for the porn site that the guy Bob paid to skip past? He's the one that runs the porn site. And he's like, yeah, you know what? You would do absolutely amazing on the porn site that I have. You know, like, in fact, that's what you should do. In fact, we're going to offer you up this opportunity to where you could get out of this hellhole and you can live the rest of your days in luxury as a porn star, basically. And she's kind of like thrown off because the lights are on her and the crowd is like cheering and booing and doing all this, making all sorts of noise. And she's drank that compliance. And so now she's just like, trying to like understand what's really happening here. And they're just trying to break her down and get her to say yes. So like, do you really want, like, the choice is yours. Do you really want to go back down and get on that bike? Because this is your only option at this point. And they said, and don't worry, we have the pharmaceuticals. We can make it a pleasurable experience for you for the rest of your life. And the whole crowd is like, everyone's like, do it, do it, do it, do, because nothing really means anything to these people anymore. Anything that's real and beautiful, it is not appreciated anymore. And so she agrees. She reluctantly agrees. And even though Bob off stage, when they were bullying her, trying to force her to say yes, he tried to get on stage to go off on them and be like, what are you doing? Like, she has real talent. And they drag him out. Okay, they will not. And so he doesn't see her again. She leaves. She's going to go start her new life. She got a contract basically to go be this porn star now because she was pretty much drugged into agreeing to it. And so he basically spent these 15 million merits to see the woman he loves get made into a porn star. You know, tragic. He is not done yet, though, because now he is absolutely fuming. He is mad. He's like, I can't believe they took the one thing, the one hope that I had, and they totally killed it. They murdered it. They ruined it. And so he has his mind made up now. He's going to earn back 15 million merits, and he's going to get out there and he's going to tell them what he really thinks. And so as he's sitting there and he's making up his mind to do this, like, this is what, like, he's coming up with the plan before he actually takes action. And what happens to come up again? The porn ad. Only this time, Abby is on it. And he doesn't even have the merits to skip it. And so now he has to sit there and watch this long-running porn ad with the woman that he had feelings for being with another guy. And he goes absolutely berserk. And he basically rams himself up against the screen until it breaks and a shard of glass comes out, okay? Well, he finds a way, since it's a thin shard of glass, just like with the origami penguin, he saves this glass. He stores this glass underneath his bed, and he works every single day. He barely uses any toothpaste, like he doesn't skip any ads. He eats leftover food that people leave behind. He watches people go to the vending machine and purchase the same item that he did that got stuck, and he goes in after them, and he uses the technique and the trick to get it out. And so this is how he's been living, and he works. And you slowly, they show you that burn tattoo that he had on his hand, it slowly starts to fade. And after it's completely faded, he has managed to get 15 million merits again. And so he buys his ticket, and he gets there. He's the first person in the back room waiting, in the waiting room. And all these people are filling in, and he's just literally standing in the same place the entire time waiting. And so they come and they get him and they pull him out on stage. And they said, okay, like, what's your talent? And he says, I'm an entertainer. And that's the other thing you got to see him do. All the free time that he had inside his room by himself, he practiced dancing. Okay, and so he's dancing in front of these judges, and the crowd is loving it. And then right towards the very end of the song, he pulls out the shard of glass that's in a point, and he puts it up to his neck. And he says, you're going to let me say what I want to say, or I'm going to kill myself right here in front of everyone. Okay. And so everyone is a little bit taken back, and they're like, okay, well, like, hold up. Like, they're telling security, like, don't go after this guy. Like, let him speak. That all the judges agree, you know what? Let's just go ahead and hear him out. And I'll never be able to accurately convey the speech that he gives with such passion and such authenticity in the feeling that this is why I really highly recommend that you watch this episode. And if not, at least watch the ending of what he says. And he gives them his whole spiel about how, we're working, we're slaving away for a power source. We don't even know what it powers. You all take anything that was real and beautiful and you destroy it. And I have had it. I've had it. I'm done with all of this. This is so fucked up. There's nothing real in the world anymore. And basically I'm going to kill it. Like you ruined everything. Like, you guys are lower than your monsters, basically, is what he's trying to convey. Like I'm done doing this. I'm done living this way. And you can tell he speaks with feelings that everyone else is afraid to say. Everyone else is out there doing the same thing and just has become compliant and accepted their fate, that this is what life is. And he is one, he's like, I'm not going to accept that this is what life is anymore. And I'd rather die than live like this a day longer, while you guys sit up here on your high horse, never knowing what a single day of a real worker is like. And the judges don't really know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because really, this could like trigger kind of an uprise, right? This could trigger a revolt. And instead of being scared or like trying to like, let's figure this out. Like, no, they take this approach where basically they praise him. And they're like, wow, that was the most realist truth I've ever heard on this stage. And they were like, you were just absolutely amazing with the intensity and the passion that you brought forward. In fact, you know what we want to do? And then the white guy steps up, because his business is podcasting. He's like, what I want you to do is I want you to say goodbye to being a biker for the rest of your life. And I want you to come and work for me. You'll be free. You'll have all the luxuries that you want in life. And all you have to do is bring that same passion that you just brought to us and do it on stream, 30 minutes twice a week. That's what I'm offering you. You can either stand up for your principles that you will not do this anymore, and that this like the world is, you're done with this world in the way it is, or you can accept my deal and you can be comfortable for the rest of your life, and you can basically keep the slaves in line without saying those words. That's basically the point of what he was trying to get him to do. And what do you guys think he chose? What would you choose? He chose to become the podcaster. He chose to leave that life and leave all the people behind, because really, I mean, who was he really going to save? I think is what he felt like. Who was he really going to save? It's like he was the only one even looking for something real anymore. Everyone else was just compliant. And so what they show you is that he accepted the deal, and now the bikers, the fat guy that was working next to him, okay, that was watching all the more obese people being force fed food and everything like that. Now he's watching him on the screen. He's watching the black guy and Bob, and he's like got he like it's his prop now. The judges even commended him for that his prop was like amazing. Like, where did that even come from? It wasn't a prop, but now that's part of his shtick. Okay, like, so now, like, when he talks to people, he holds this up and he basically just goes on. He's like, "This is the world we live in. It's terrible, and this is terrible, and all, like, basically saying all the truth about all the things that are terrible in the world." And he goes, "And I'll see you back here next week. Have a good day, guys." And he checks out. And you can see at that point that he's in this nice big apartment, it looks like, but still there are all these screens around him, and the screens put up a picture of what looks like outside, like a mountainous forest type of valley, that he is living in now. And as the camera zooms out, the final shot, it shows that now he actually has objects. He has valuables. He has items that belong to him. And one of those is a penguin statue. And yeah, so that's the story. That's the story of 15 million merits. That is what society could be if we were to just become compliant and be okay with we will own nothing and be happy. Like, it just was the biggest. It stood out to me so much. Yes, Victor. Me and Victor watched a couple episodes of Black Mirror when he came to visit, and those are some really good ones too. But that was the crux of this one. I really feel like it was the whole, what is the ideal behind you will own nothing and be happy? What would that look like if you were just to be a slave for your energy? It also reminds me of a Rick and Morty episode that I wanted to talk about eventually at some point, because we got all the time in the world. How many streams? I'll be around here for a while. So eventually, I do want to talk about that episode with Rick and Morty, because it's about a universe being inside of a universe being inside of a universe. And basically it's his car battery. I guess I'm just telling you right there. It's like, it's as simple as that. Like, Rick has his spaceship, and the thing that runs his car battery is a mini universe that he created where there's a planet on it with life. And he went down, he miniaturized himself and went down there, and he convinced these aliens that if they just stomp on these boxes every day for 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours a day, that it will not only power their world, but then some of that, just a little bit of that power, will get shunted off into this volcano, which that's where the power source gets sent to his car. Okay, which really isn't 20%, it's like more like 80%. So 80% of the energy that they are using, that they are creating, is what Rick ends up getting. Okay, well, the battery dies, right? And so he has to go into the miniverse to find out, okay, well, the reason is because another scientist in that world discovered that he could do the same thing that Rick did by creating a teeny universe. And in that teeny universe, there was another group of aliens on the planet that they could do the same thing to supply all their energy. So now they wouldn't have to stomp on the boxes anymore, but that would give Rick a dead car battery. And so they go through this whole spiel, and eventually Rick ends up winning out because he ends up getting out of the miniverse that he created real quick. They fight about it. They get back, and he goes to turn on the battery. Well, Morty's like, well, I guess that's a dead battery for us. And he's like, is it? And he turns the key, and the spaceship starts. And Morty's like, I don't understand. He's like, you don't understand? He's like, think about it. I was like, when that guy ended up getting back home and realizing the truth, he knew that I would either throw away this entire universe in order to create a new universe, in order to have them do what I need to do in order to power my battery, or they could get back on the box, and he convinced them to get back on the boxes. He had two choices. Which choice was he going to make? And they chose to keep on living. So that's the Rick and Morty episode. I can't remember the title of it now. I'll have to look it up another time. Okay. So anyway, that's that part. All right, I'm just glancing at the chat. That sounds like slavery with extra steps. That's exactly right, actually. That's exactly what they say in the episode. It sounds like someone has seen this episode. It's a good one, right? Keep Summer safe. Keep Summer safe. Yeah, it is very similar. I know. That's why I was like, this is very interesting, this ideal. You know what I'm saying? So should we get to the fun stuff now? I don't know. Is it even the fun stuff? I don't know. I'm kind of pissed about it, guys. I'm kind of annoyed about it. Because at this point, I'm just, I had a lot of respect. I still have a lot of respect for the people I'm getting ready to talk about and the rumors that I'm getting ready to go over. All right. Trying to think of how I even want to go into this and broach it. Because I do think that there is something off at this point. I do think there is something off. Just give me a second, guys, to think of how I want to even start this. Okay, so there's this guy on Facebook, basically, named Craig Walker, and he made this post on Facebook a while ago, and he was talking about how there are these rumors going around about him, and I don't even think he mentioned the other people whose name these rumors were going around with, okay? But he said, he made this whole post. He's like, I'm going to address the rumors right here, right now. And I was like, oh, cool, good, because I'd already heard these rumors, right? I'd already heard it. I'd already been a little bit baffled myself. And I wanted some clarification. And I thought, wow, this would actually look better for him if he was addressing the rumors than wasn't, considering what I actually heard, which I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you the details that I can remember. Okay. And so I read the post, and the post basically said absolutely nothing. Nothing. Basically, like, I don't want to, something along the lines of the concept being the best way to handle rumors is to not give them any energy. It's to not give them any energy. Okay, now I knew something was up and something was off and weird when at the last Journey to Truth conference that I went to, one of their main speakers that they had promoted the entire time and who had been at the last two conferences, Daryl James, okay, he was not coming to that conference. And the entire energy of the conference felt completely different. I've known Tyler and Aaron for a very long time. I've been going to conferences. I've been going to ESET I first met them at ESETI, I think in 2020, 2019? I can't remember which year it was at this point. But anyway, I met them all, and I pretty much have been like almost every conference I've been to, they have been at for the most part, except for maybe the Full Disclosure Now. And honestly, I really highly respected them and cared about them. I still do. That's the thing, is I still do, because shared experiences, I guess you could say. There are things that I saw in them, and I mentioned this briefly last week. Like, there was an incident that happened where there was this whole drama that was happening over the Edge of Wonder. I don't know if you guys remember Edge of Wonder, but anyway, they have their own TV channel now, and it was with Ben and Rob, you know what I'm saying? And this guy, Rob, he was basically talking to tons of women behind his girlfriend's back, and the girlfriend was someone in the community who Tyler had feelings for. Her name was Kate Awakening. Okay, and I remember and this is what I was talking about, like, I was so, like, I look up to people who have the courage to speak up and say something. And so they were so upset about the fact that Rob had played Kate Awakening like this so hard that they made a post about it, and they were trying to address it, and they were trying to clear it up, and they didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? In the truther community, like, you want the truth to be told. And when someone is doing something wrong, even if their work is good, it's like the morals of your character still matter, right? You know what I'm saying? And so this is why I never thought this would be a thing that I would be talking about, because I really thought that they cared about uncovering and telling the truth about things, especially if it was something about them. Okay, so back to the story. back to the original rumor of why we're getting here talking about, because I want to know what the fuck. I want to know what the fuck. So Daryl ended up not going to this Journey to Truth conference. I could see something was off with Tyler. Tyler basically said something along the lines of that they wanted to do it a new place because they were tired of the same old classroom style conferences, and so therefore they were going to be throwing their next conference in Hawaii, which I was really kind of bummed about. I know y'all people who went to Hawaii probably had a great time, but something felt off about it, because the whole reason that they came up with the Journey to Truth conference, what they originally said, was so that they can give people that were in the Midwest or the Mideast over here a place to go to a conference that was closer than Mount Shasta or ECETI or down in Florida. Like, that was the whole reason. And they did this 3 years in a row at this place, this same location. And now suddenly they were changing it up. And now Daryl's not coming on top of it. And so I find out through the grapevine, and then I heard directly from Daryl himself that the reason that they were changing it up and moving to Hawaii was because they'd been blackmailed. Yes, that is the big rumor, guys, that the Journey to Truth podcasters are being blackmailed by Craig Walker. Okay, they said they are being Daryl, and here's the thing, Daryl is a very convincing person. When you know, I feel like you can, I hope to God that part of what we're doing here is learning how to have better discernment by listening to people talk, because I think that the truth is heard. It's felt inside you when someone says something that's true, you know, like that's what gets people, that's what gets me excited anyway. And so when I listen to Daryl and he's telling me all these details about what happened and why there's this rift between them, because, you know, that's the whole reason that he chose not to go. That's the whole reason he chose not to show up to the third conference that he'd been promoted for, was because supposedly Craig Walker had blackmailed Aaron and Tyler, and now they've been infiltrated, and now their whole movement has been infiltrated. And so he basically, Daryl was saying the story that Craig even tried to blackmail him. He said that, and you know, and some of you might have seen, actually, if you know Arkeem Ra at all, haven't seen any of his shorts, he actually went kind of heavy and hard on them, and like he was even willing to open up and tell some of his own personal like prefaces about things that were like they're intimate, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, he put it out there. It's basically the blackmail was that Aaron and Tyler were gay together at some point. And so like me and Daryl, and the common opinion amongst the people who were talking about this was just like, if you are, which I never really sensed that from him one way or another, I'll be real with you. I mean, I knew he had feelings for Kate Awakening. I know he's got a girlfriend now. And so, which honestly doesn't bode well for his discernment anyway, which we'll get into in a second. But so anyway, I never really picked up on that. But the way Daryl was saying it, it came across like he was telling a story. He was telling what happened as Tyler was living with him in his home. He mentioned this one particular incident where it was like Tyler had recognized, okay, this is what's happening. We are being blackmailed. He tells Daryl this, and Daryl's like, just come out with it. Just come out with it. Like, don't let, like, do the same thing that we're doing when we hear like, okay, like Robert Kennedy Jr., what that guy, the guy with the fucking voice that sounds like he needs to take a drink of water. Just take one fucking drink of water, guy, and swallow that whatever it is in your fucking throat. You know, that guy, when he had that sex scandal come out, and everyone was just like, let it out, guy. Like, we don't care. We're not going to judge you for what you're doing behind closed doors, texting with a fucking woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't care. We care about the job you're doing. We care about the job you're doing. Just, if you let blackmail win, then it starts to shape your decisions in a different manner, such as possibly maybe changing your conference location to a place where most of us can't even afford to go. You know, like, I don't know. So Daryl basically recounted this one particular incident where they were sitting on their couch and they were talking about this, and Tyler was telling them like the gist of what it was that the blackmail was. And Daryl was encouraging him to just go forward and let it be known. And he was like, he's like, I want to, he said. So I will give him that. Daryl said Tyler wanted to come forward, but that Aaron didn't. Because apparently the blackmail video that he had on them was from a time before he was married, but he was still engaged. And so therefore he didn't want that getting out. This is what Daryl said. Okay. And so then he said Tyler went into his room. He's like, oh, as Daryl was saying this, and Tyler was basically, this was the dramatic part. This is why I'm like, I find it hard not to believe that there isn't some part of this that's true. He basically said, Tyler said, don't you understand, Daryl? We've been infiltrated. We've been infiltrated. And Tyler went off to his room. And Daryl said that he came back out a different Tyler, and he was never the same after that. And so now I'm just kind of like, wow, like what's going on? And so it got even more detailed than that, though, because Daryl had a lot of stories to talk about with this Craig Walker. Oh boy, someone disconnected. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, something happened on here. I thought maybe one of my moderators timed someone out. It doesn't. It says chat disconnected or reconnected. Anyway, so Daryl basically says that this Craig Walker grew up, like I said, this is what I've heard. And this is, I do not know how to feel about this. I don't. But I just don't know how he could be such a good liar about all these finer details. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it was kind of crazy in a way. And so basically he said, Craig Walker, that he used to live in a house where the whole point of living together was to see who could get the most blackmail on each other. And then he would ask him weird things like, what time do you go to bed usually? And he would hang around the house until Daryl got sleepy and ready to go to bed. And then he would try to get him, he would hold up, like try to take videos of him and get him to say like really off the wall type of things, like racist shit, or like, you know, just things that were really bad to get him on camera and everything. And Daryl basically was like, but I knew what he was doing, you know, because he told me this is what he was doing. He said, you know, I can tell you this and no one's really going to believe you anyway. So it's like, you know, because who would believe that, right? Well, I mean, what is going on there, guys? What is going on there? Okay, so I'm trying to remember the other part that I wanted to talk about it real quick, because there's more. Okay, so this is the reason why there was supposedly a falling out. Okay, yes, I remember now. Because I did get a response back. I won't deny. Tyler did write me. I did not open it, but I did hear from a friend, because I can't open Facebook Messenger, and I'm sorry. I can't do it anymore. All right? There's too much. I'm overwhelmed. But here was the explanation I got, because I've been saying this to people who are close to him. I've been bringing up this subject. I've been bringing up, like, it doesn't seem right for you not to address the rumors at all and just to think that that is okay when it's such a strong thing that this guy has been saying. That Daryl, a close friend, a person who they lived with, is saying all of this stuff. And for you not to address it at all is bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, because you're not even giving us an opportunity to hear it out of your own mouth and through your voice, your spirit, to hear that maybe you're telling the truth. No, you're letting just Daryl be the one that says everything. And so therefore, when we feel into him, just like when he gives all his presentations, he feels like he's telling the truth. It feels like he's telling the truth. Okay? But the message that I got back from a friend of his basically was that the reason why we can't believe Daryl is because he has a medical condition and he's mentally sick, and he believes things that are real that don't actually happen. I hope I'm saying that right. Basically, like, he has some type of psychosis that he's supposed to be taking medication for, and it makes him experience things that he believes are real that aren't really real. Okay, so this is the justification I was given for this, which I was like, interesting. That is very interesting. Now, I'm not saying that that's not true. I don't know for sure. All I can do is go on my own discernment, but I have some strikes against these people when it comes to their discernment, especially after watching some of their recent videos and information. Okay, because the argument that I have, or the issue I take with them now saying that Daryl is not a credible, reliable source of information because he has this medical condition and therefore we can't believe him, But this is also a person that you trusted so much that you not only lived with them, but you promoted them at your own conference and your own show many, many times. And he's telling us these absolutely just crazy stories, which we're believing, right? We're believing Daryl for the most part. A lot of people do. So what about all that then? Because if he's not credible and he's lying this way, what about his entire story? And if your discernment was so off that you yourself couldn't pick up the difference between his psychosis and actual reality, again, that doesn't bode well for you. It doesn't bode well. Okay? So the other thing I noticed about them, it just seems like it feels like they're more concerned with their image than the entire full transparent truth. In fact, they are obfuscating the truth. They are blurring it. They are obscuring it a little bit. Okay. And not only that, I have to say, I think that they are turning their heads and they are putting their heads in the sand like a fucking ostrich when it comes to this whole war with Iran, what's going on with Trump, because not that they came out and directly said, we support Trump stuff, but you might as well have said with what I listened to yesterday. It's like, oh, there's still it's almost like they still believe that there's this 5D chess happening and that there is that there's just, there's things behind the scenes that we don't understand. And I get the Q movement was a real kicker, I guess you could say, a real fire starter. The Q movement was a real fire starter, but nothing has happened. No arrests have happened. I don't give a fuck about disclosure. I am fucking sorry. Sue me for that. I don't give a fuck about it. I don't give a fuck about the aliens anymore. I love aliens. But when it comes to what is happening on this planet right now, for us to just completely ignore all the work that we have to do, not only in our personal lives with our own self, all right, but with other humans. I don't care about seeing the UFOs anymore. I don't care about making connections with them. I don't care about the government coming and telling me, oh yeah, aliens are real and here's the 4 species of them are real. I don't care. And I trust my gut when it comes to certain people that have already been in the community for a long time. And I'll just tell you right now, anyone, if you're associating hard time, whatever, not saying this right. If you're associating with Michael Salla, I'm sorry, I'm going to question you. Because that guy, the whole group of it, the whole Lena Denon crew, and how she turned on all of them, and now they realize what that was like. And so now they're all like, oh, no, she's evil. Now she's bad. No, I don't fucking think so. I'm not going to trust Michael Salla. I'm not going to trust fucking Danny Henderson. Y'all were down with the whole Galactic Federation and this dumbass fucking ambassador with her fucking implant that only she could fucking talk to certain specific beings. And if you talk to it, like Megan Rose, well, you're just a fraud, And they were all fine and dandy with her and her being that way until she turned on them. And now you expect, I'm sorry, I've never been able to listen to Michael Salla. I can't stand the guy. And that's just my own personal discernment. That's what I feel inside. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, so that feels off. That feels completely off. I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't care if they were gay or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if they will have some things to right within their own personal relationships if they were, and they were committed to other people. Yeah, but I would never hold that against them. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I would respect them more if they came out and they actually addressed this stuff. Because like I said, we are meant to be like Jesus, right? We're meant to be the shepherds of humanity. And at this point, they have turned into bad shepherds. They have turned, and I'm sorry for the chat. I'm going to put the second glasses on in a minute and we'll look over some of it. They've become bad shepherds. Because if you are not shining a light on the truth about what is going on with this war, and you're downplaying it, and you're making it sound like there's some positive thing going on here, and think about this. There are people that supported President Trump and got him into office and were so close to him, and they have been completely betrayed, and you can hear it and feel it in their voices. They've been completely betrayed. But yet we're still, the regular people, we're the ones who weren't even close to him, we're supposed to still trust and believe that there's something good going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like Indigo Angel remote viewing below the ballroom and saying that, oh, there's a secret place you can actually there's a Stargate under there. It's like it's all these things. It's like going to be a complete military base. Well, obviously it's going to be a huge fucking data center for AI Big Brother surveillance state. But no, Indigo Angel wants to go ahead and say, oh, she remote viewed this place and it was Melania's ideal to even do this. Okay, you know what? First of all, I know she supports Israel. Second of all, I know that she actually said that she just wants to be the next biggest influencer. And, maybe that was the issue that her and Z Earthstar Healer had, because they were working together for a while when I was still following Z. And then at some point, Z was just like, nope, not working with her anymore. And I was like, what was it like? Thinking about it today, I'm just like, was it that like Indigo Angel like was able to come up with a better spiritual word salad than Z or Star Healer? Like, was that their beef? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But all I know is there are certain people out there that are doing all these remote viewings, they're doing these channelings, and I don't feel a lick of spiritual energy, psychic energy coming off of them. Now, I do feel some on Indigo Angel. I will say that. I feel something. I feel like she does have a real gift or talent. But there's some distortion there. There's some crazy distortion there. And the fact that she would still support Israel and President Trump when there's a genocide going on. A genocide. We're the only country supporting this genocide. Iran is the only one that has stepped in to say, stop. That was part of their agreement. The ceasefire agreement, the ending of the war was that they stopped doing what they're doing to the Palestinians and doing what they're doing in Lebanon. Like I watched this video today and it was like, we need to wake up and realize that America's on the wrong side of history right now. And so if you're listening to influencers that are not telling you these things and they're just like, yeah, disclosure this and, like President Trump did this thing, but you never know what's going on behind the scenes, It's a good thing President Trump did this good thing. Like I know there's so many more people out there though that have better discernment than this because they've come out of the woodwork when I started praying to God, asking God, should I talk about this? Should I even talk about this? And so another one, and I'm sorry, Victor, I don't sense, and here's, remember I said there are several things that don't bode well for their discernment because I don't feel any type of powerful psychic energy coming off Lily Nova. I don't. And I'm not the only one who thinks that way. I'm not the only one who senses and feels that. I feel like her channelings, any kind of galactic federation, like talking of they're telling me this and they're telling me that about the world. It's like, what in the fuck? Are you actually doing anything real? Like, are you doing anything where it's like you're practicing it here on Earth where, okay, let's say you can do something spiritual that's real too. You can do experiments with that too. Like, doing sound healing for people and actually seeing the results of it happen. They go to the doctor, they're sick. You do the sound healing, they go back to the doctor and they're well. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, stuff where I'm like here, like, okay, I'm going to manifest my power coming back on, like when I do that, I'm going to manifest getting a certain amount of money every single day when I go out there door dashing. Like I'm putting, like I'm going to send this person a telepathic message and see if they get it back. Like, are you doing anything real? Who can we check with in the Galactic Federation to make sure that you're telling us the fucking truth? Like, what is that about? Not to mention the fact that I had several people tell me about how they do. I don't know if I really want to mention her name because I don't really want to bring her and drag her into the mud with this one. But there's a podcaster that I highly respect and love out there. And she's done videos where she is a remote viewer. She is a legit, you can see it. She has tons of verifications where she works with this other person and he gives her things to remote view and she comes back and it's like, and they do this whole thing. And so she's done more than one episode where she comes out and she has all this information. And then like a day or so later, maybe even sooner than that, Lily Nova comes out with the same exact information. Almost word for word. And it wasn't even noticed by me. It was noticed by other people. And they brought it to me. And they were like, Yeah, she basically copies other people. And maybe maybe she's not even aware that she's doing it. I thought that, or I thought maybe they're tuning into the same channel. Like, I'm trying to come up with justifications and reasons as to how this could happen too, because I don't naturally want to think bad about people. I don't naturally just want to hate on someone, and especially if they have gifts and they're saying and they're channeling these messages and stuff, because I'm a channeler and I'm a psychic myself, and I want people to be able to believe me. So I give people the benefit of the doubt until I feel or I see or I learn something different. And the last part I want to add about her is this: if you can't even tell the truth about your own story, your own struggles, on a channel that was literally meant to expose that for people, to help them with your example of how to get through drug addiction. If you can't even own up to the fact that you were taking kratom, you were still using kratom on an interview about your life, where you basically acted like you were done with that, that tells me that you care more about your image than you do the truth. That I went on the same episode, I went on the same show, and she asked me all the same type of questions about how I ended up getting, because a lot of us in the Starseed community have struggled with addictions. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Like we're all still going through it. I still take kratom. I'm not afraid to admit that. I still take kratom. But why would it be a problem for people out there in the community to know? What's the big deal? Privacy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, I'm sorry, but it's just like Erica Kirk, okay? Like, she wants her privacy and all. Okay, you put yourself out there to be looked at. So what are we going to see when we look? I take issue with that. I take issue with the fact that you would manipulate your image for whatever reason. And so that's part of what I think is happening with the Journey to Truth podcast now too. I think they are more concerned with their image than what that truth actually is, and saying, you know what? Yeah, guys, this is getting really bad. Trump really betrayed us. There's literally a genocide going on over in Palestine. We all know Israel's the bad guy, but now we're working with them and we support them. Like, this is fucked up. And I'm fucking tired of it. I'm tired of being in a community where we can't just come out and say these things. In fact, that's the whole reason I got into this community, was because that's what I thought that humanity was going forward with, not only being psychically activated and being connected to each other, and knowing that there is going to come a point in human consciousness where nothing is hidden. And I think that we are closer to that than what most people realize. So something is off. I am sounding the alarm in the community. Something is off. I still respect these people. I still look at them as humans that are mixes of light and dark, like all of us are. And I will not hold that against them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've allowed them to be human. But if you're going to be an influencer, if you're going to be one of the shepherds of humanity, well, then you better bring your best. You better bring your best. You better be telling the truth. You better be transparent. You better not be leading people off a cliff, just like David Wilcock was doing for years and years and years, and felt horrible about at the end, took his own life because it hit him so hard that he misled so many people for so many years because he didn't want to let go on the dream that he was right. I'm sorry. If you are still supporting Trump, they're all corrupt. It doesn't matter. Don't you understand it? They've shown us. It doesn't matter even if we vote them into office. They will do whatever it is they want. And Trump is definitely bought and paid for by Israel. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that I want to put on the chopping block, and then I'm going to look at the chat. But I see a lot going on, and I'm excited to read it. Was there anyone else that I can throw into there that I'm just like, I've had it. I've had it with biting my tongue. Okay. Yeah, Lily Nova is basically Elizabeth April 2.0, right? Like, if you look at Elizabeth April, the energy frequencies of the two of them are so similar. Like, guys, really? Like, what is going on here? Like, I feel like the Journey to Truth boys, they bring information for people who have, like, never heard this stuff before, who have never heard of the conspiracy information before. When it comes to stuff like that, when to Terria, Antarctica, things like that, they can bring. I love listening to that type of stuff. But when it comes to current events and the fact that they're hiding from these rumors that have literally been going around, like, it's not like I'm the only person that heard. It's like I might be the first one to really like be putting it all the way out there, which I didn't even put all of it out there. There's more details to the story. I just chose to leave those ones out, and so yeah, I guess there's one more thing that I wanted to do, and I hadn't decided if I wanted to do this beforehand or afterhand, but I will say this, and I'll show you how to address a rumor. I'm going to show you by addressing a rumor that I heard about myself. Okay. And the rumor I heard about myself, okay, was about this guy named Scott Deans. Very talented man. I have no bad feelings towards him whatsoever. In fact, I pray and hope that he's doing well. Very talented musician. I think he put out one album by himself, and it had a few good songs on it. Really, really enjoyed it. Okay, but apparently he lived with Aaron Koala for a while. Aaron. He lived with Aaron for a while, and so that's how I heard through the grapevine some of the things that he was saying about me. So basically, he was saying that I misled him, and that I let him. Like that I was basically using him to buy me a bunch of stuff for the study trip, I'm going to guess, because that's the only time that he ever bought me anything. And so I'm just going to tell you about this guy, Scott Deans, real quick. Wow, look at that. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Okay, so I'll just tell you really quick because I want to show you. So this is what I heard. I heard that this is what he was telling people, that he was telling people that me and him were talking, that we planned on meeting up at this conference. And basically I had been sending him things that led him to believe that I was interested in him like that, which I don't know how he could have thought that, because I never once said that. Or in fact, I told him the opposite. In fact, from the moment that we met, the first time we met, and I'll tell you why I knew that he was never going to have an opportunity or possibility like that. And I thought he understood that and respected it. This is why I'm a little angry at him about it, because we met the first time I ever went to ECETI, and I was still in a very complicated situation. I was still living with my daughter's father. Things weren't going well for us. I did not feel connected at all. In fact, I really felt trapped. I felt like I've talked about this before. Like I felt like that I didn't even choose it. I had my daughter, and it's just like suddenly he was like, oh, we're living together, we're in a relationship. And it's like, I never even agreed to that though. You never asked me, you never told, okay, whatever though. So this was my first opportunity at ECETI to actually get out and have like interactions with men in a way that I could flirt and talk to them in a way that I wanted to. Like I could choose who I wanted to talk to without hearing from it, hearing about it, getting bitched at for it, getting accused of cheating just for talking. And so I was really happy about that. And so I got out there to ECETI, and Scott Deans was one of the first people to talk to me. And we talked for quite a long time. And eventually he walked me back to my cabin, and he kissed me. Yeah. I was like, it was like, right. I was kind of surprised by it, because he just did it. And right then and there, I knew. I was like, no, because then he said something. Honestly, he was always really upfront about being direct about things. He basically said, I have a condom in my wallet. Do you want to use it? This is what he said to me. You just fucking met me. You only just kissed me once. I didn't even like that. And now you're asking, and you're thinking that you might have a chance to get me to be in the most physical, intimate act with you? Like, are you kidding me? Like, at the time, I was just like, kind of like taken back. I told him no, obviously. I was like, no, that's not happening. And at that point, I was like, oh, I got myself into some trouble here. He also told me at the same time, earlier, before that kiss, that he hasn't been able to write songs for a while, and that he only ever writes songs when he's heartbroken. And so I said to him, I hope that you never write a song about me. And so this whole thing happens, and I decide, okay, you know what? No, this guy is going too far. He's getting the wrong ideal. So I kind of started to avoid him a little bit, but then I went and I prayed about it. I did the little walking around thing Eddie said that you could do. And I was just like, God, what do I do? Because I realize now, like, this isn't, I'm doing the same thing that I've always done. You know what I'm saying? This is when I acknowledged it for the first time. Like, oh, I see. When I don't feel connected in a relationship, I look for that connection outside of myself. And so therefore he was just filling that spot of me trying to have a connection and to feel connected to someone. Okay. And I'm like, okay, so what do I do about this? Because I don't want to make the same mistakes that I've always made, because that is the mistake that I've made in my early 20s. That was what I did. And I ended up, causing my marriage to break up and everything, because I didn't know that I just needed to try and fix this connection with my partner at the time. And I will say this, it's not that I didn't try to fix it with my daughter's father even. I had tried, but it fell on deaf ears at the time. He didn't know how to help. We've talked, me and him have talked through that at this point. Everything was good between us. But anyway, back to Scott Deans. So Spirit basically tells me, tell him the truth. Tell him the truth. Like, this is a big theme for me at that point, still is. Tell the truth. And so I pulled him aside and I just said, listen, I'm a hot mess. I said, this is my current situation. I'm living with this guy. I have 2 kids with him. Like, I don't know what I want. Like, I don't want to do the same things I've always done. And I just didn't want to mislead you into thinking that I could give you something that I can't. I just didn't want to mislead him. That was it. And that's what's so fucked up about it, is because I literally took conscious actions to try and make sure I didn't mislead him. And yet still somehow he ended up feeling misled. So I'm like, so anyway, I tell him this. He acts like he's all cool with it. But, he's a little bit of a wino. So we get to the Skywatch later that night. And the first thing he says to me is, you want to hear the song I wrote for you? In front of everyone, real loud, he says this. I wrote a song for you. You want to hear it? And I'm like, I said, everyone kind of like looking around. I said, no, I don't. You know what I'm saying? And he got real mouthy. He was being just very inconsiderate, inappropriate. And I had this other friend of mine at the time, my friend Elise, and Rob Vanoy. And so we kind of just went off and did our own thing. And Rob was kind of like protecting me from him in a way, he felt like. And so he felt really bad about that. And this is why I bring it up, because I still respect Scott Deans for this. He actually pulled me aside the next day and he said, listen, I want you to just be real with me and tell me the truth about how you feel and how I want to apologize to you. And you just like critique me and tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong here when it comes to this stuff. And so I took a chance. I was in this truth telling, mode, I guess you could say. And so I told him exactly what it was. And for the first time ever, I was able to tell someone what had upset me, what had bothered me. And he handled it and he took it. And we became great friends after that. So I thought we were great friends. I really did. And so when I was going to go see him the next year and he was going to be at ECETI and I knew he was coming, I had asked him if he could get me a few things for the trip. I just said, I'm coming from a long way. I don't want my suitcase to weigh more. Is it possible? Do you have these things, these items already at your house? Because he lives out this way. I'm thinking, like, do you have like a sleeping bag? Do you have maybe like an extra like sweatshirt or something like that I could borrow and wear? Oh God, a flashlight. I asked for a flashlight. I said, do you have an air mattress? And I was like, it's okay if you don't have these things. I'll find a way to get it if you don't have these things. And he was like, no, I got you. I'm gonna get these things for you. And I said, okay, I can pay them. Oh, I asked him if he could give me some weed too. And I said, I could pay you for that. When I get there, I can pay you for that. I didn't want to travel with weed. I get there and everything seemed like it was okay and everything like that. And again, I offered to pay him for the things. And he was like, no. All I want you to do is just help me set up my tent. Again, I'm looking at it as we're just friends. But at the same time, I'll be honest with you guys, I could sense that he had those romantic inclinations. I knew from the text messages because he got drunk all the time. And he would send me the most craziest fucking text messages. He would go on, like long ass text messages, long going on about And I'm a Leo rising. Okay, I won't deny it. So I take a little bit to flattery. And he's going on about how much, how he feels about me and all this type of stuff. And then he would always apologize about it the next day. And I'd be like, okay, cool, because we're just friends, right? Like we're cool, and we're good. And I even went out of my way even to make sure that like I didn't look like I was like giving someone else that type of attention because I knew he wanted. I was trying to be considerate is what I'm trying to say. I tried to respect his feelings. So anyway, I tried to like show him like I care about you, but I'm not going to go that length with you. That's not going to happen. Well, that didn't work. Okay. Because Brock, this beautiful man, came and spent the whole 4 days with me for the most part. And even though I kept flagging Scott over, trying to get like, come and hang out with us, come and hang, like, what are you doing over there? He still ended up bitching at the long run and going off on me and ended up losing his, like, he had a terrible time. He lost his phone, like all this type of stuff that after he went off on me this one night, the last night of the conference, and, but even after that, he still apologized. And I thought we were still friends until I heard the rumors that he was talking about me to Aaron and saying that I misled him and that I did all this stuff. And I'm just thinking to myself, guy, I tried so fucking hard with you. I tried so hard. I thought we were, in fact, like he thought he was on death's door and he was contacting me. And I was like literally just praying for him and telling him like, I hold nothing against you. Like there's nothing wrong. Like I know you have an issue. I know you have this alcohol problem. Like it is okay. Like I accept you for who you are. I don't want to be with you like in that way. I didn't think I had to bring it up. So anyway, now that we got to that uncomfortableness, that awkwardness, yeah, that was one of the rumors I heard about me. So if any of the other rumors, if there's any other rumors that come out, bring it to me. Bring it. Like I don't have any problem telling the truth here about myself. I'm okay to. I mean, guys, just look at my streams for God's sakes. Does it look like I'm afraid to be seen at this point? Does it look like I'm afraid to be seen at this point? Like, I'm just so tired of it. I'm so tired of the lies. I'm so tired of it. All right, let's go ahead and let's get this show rolling. So anyway, that is my rumor has it section for today's video. I just bring that to your guys' attention for your own discernment. Just know that this is the community that we are in. I don't know. Obviously, the only people that really know the truth deep down is going to be Aaron and Tyler. God, I know there's so much more people that I want to even talk about at this point. I'm sorry, I have to take into this. Because that was a lie I just got out. Okay. I know. I won't bring up Tony this time. I want to, but I won't. This time. Because that's the other thing. No, don't. I'm not doing it this time. All right, anyway. Okay, I'm looking at some of the chats. Okay. Okay, so I have a comment here from Miss White Swan. She says, do you guys think Trump 2026 to 2020 was real? Because if he was so bad then, why didn't Israel keep him in power then? It feels like two different men when I compare his terms. Weird. I agree. It does feel like that to me too. It feels like he's a completely different Trump. Like either he's been replaced or they've MK'd Ultra him, or they blackmailed the fuck out of him, or he's just really getting old and he's not the same, or he just was always a really good con man. And the whole, show and pony act was that we get his first term was to set us up so we would all believe in him and want him and vote for him and like, yes, Trump, and then get him in. The second term, it's like they play the long game. This is not the first time. They play the long game. Sorry. I just saw her talking about my glasses. Yeah, we're going to be vaping now. This is what's happening now. Because, you know what I could do, actually? Sorry, guys, because, when I stream, the nicotine. Yes, conspiracy 101. That's the type of work that their Journey to Truth people are doing at this point. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. Lily Nova. Lily fucking Nova. Like, I tried watching her stuff, to see like what it is she's even talking about. I didn't really hear her talk anything about Trump, but she did keep bringing up the galactics this and the galactics that, and it's like, I'm like, can we use any of that? Is there any of that information that we can use in our daily life to make our life better? Aside from the fact that you're literally doing almost word for word content with people who any true psychic can sense has a real ability, real remote viewing ability. Okay, the woman that I'm talking about, like, she has real, like, I want to name her name, but I don't. I really love this woman, and I don't want to put her out there in case she doesn't want this to be known. I don't know if she would never go after them herself, but it's been more than one person. Yeah, agreed, Matthew, agreed. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there is more. There was more details of it that I didn't say. Because, one thing I've noticed about Daryl is that his story does seem to come with certain trigger words. Like, there's two stories about him, or two of the things that he's talked about, two different, like, dramas that have happened with him, where certain phrases and words have been very particular in standing out. Like, he makes a point to say these words. And so it makes me wonder, like, that's the one thing that, like, makes me feel like, okay, well, what is really going on here with him? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a very interesting, unique thing about both of these stories is they both have these trigger words. Okay, like one was fire, lava, magma. He said, like, this is what he was being programmed with hypnotically from an ex of his, basically, and that she was saying fire, lava, magma. These are destructive forces, And then for Craig, he was saying that Craig was using Melody Clark, his girlfriend, as basically like the carrot of the stick. He kept saying, you get the carrot of the stick, the carrot of the stick. And the carrot was Melody in bed, and the stick was Craig himself. The stick was Craig himself. Like, I don't know if it meant like then you're gonna like mentally berate him or something. Like, I wasn't really sure, but basically Daryl was saying that Craig uses Melody, that they do this thing together, and that's how they get some of this blackmail on people, is that she seduces them. And Daryl didn't fall for it, but supposedly, I think he was saying Aaron did, and that was part of the blackmail, was that Aaron had slept with Melody, supposedly, or that Aaron and Tyler had been together, that they had been together, So, and I heard that they had an orgy at one of their journey, that they have orgies at their fucking conferences, which then I was like, okay, I don't necessarily believe that one. That doesn't feel true to me. That just doesn't feel right to me. But I maybe my discernment is off. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Daryl is telling the truth about this. I don't know. He's saying that's where Craig got some of the video, because he's saying he has multiple things of blackmail on them. All right, sorry, I'm scrolling up a little bit more. I just want to see what other good comments people had to say. Oh, yes. Tyler is in a relationship with Lily. Yes, White Swan. That's why I'm just like, wow, like, I mean, he has a type, as you can see. Yes. Okay, Matthew is saying Lily cherry picks other people's info and claims it's alliance contact. Yes, that is what basically I was picking up from the one or two videos that I could manage to push myself through. Like, a lot of times for me, I can hear it in a person's voice to the point where I can't even listen to them if they're hiding something, or if they're distorting things. Like, I can't, like Michael Salla. Like, I don't know why. I literally just cannot listen to him. I think he's fake. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. I'll be the bad guy, and I'll hate Israel and Palestine. Oh, White Swan's hating Israel and Palestine. Yeah. All right, hold on, guys. Hold on. There was just so much of the chat going through, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything real good. Yes, exactly. Matthews, I think he's commenting on the fact that Tyler was saying it's like all the good stuff, all the things that got their show popular with Daryl's information, and their conference got people to the conference with Daryl's information. Like all that was true, but not with this stuff. Nope. Now he's got a psychosis, right? Yeah, I know. I can't either. I can't listen to them anymore, honestly, because it's just like I said, it's 101. It's 101. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely cowardly behavior. Okay, I made it to the part where I was at for a second. Here we go. If I miss someone, some important chat, listen, if I miss something that you really want me to read, just put it back in the chat again. Okay. Okay. We are in agreement with that one, Brian. In fact, Christ and Buddha are the main people that I like to, I guess you could say, emulate or connect with and communicate with. Like, number one. I mean, this is why I wear my golden cross. This is why, because in my 20s, I told myself I was going to marry Jesus, and I bought a wedding ring for it and everything. And it was because I think it was related to a past life thing. We've talked about this before. Because when you're a nun, you actually have a ceremony where you marry Jesus. I absolutely love Jesus. Jesus is amazing. And I believe that he is helped heal me. And like I said, I told him I would give him all that credit, even though he doesn't care. Even though Jesus would never care about getting credit. But I want people to know, because I want people to pray and ask for his help in healing them. That's what I want. I want them to see, hey, like, it worked for me, it can work for you. Yeah, it's a crazy ride. Stop the world, I want to get off. I wrote that on a comment on Facebook not that long ago, actually. Yes, I thought about that too, White Swan. Okay, she said, celebs have manufactured relationships for propaganda purposes. So it is not out of this realm of possibilities. This would be done in the disclosure community too. Just saying, I agree. I agree with you on that. It makes me wonder, like, because I don't need, like, maybe they're not even consciously aware that they're being driven together, because maybe I feel like I'd be giving them too much credit, but it's like maybe Lily is like a handler for Tyler. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are these people? I just saw this really funny video. They were making fun of starseeds and stuff like that, and it was like, God, I wish I could post it for you guys and just give it to you. But it was really funny. But it was right to the point, and they made it said it was Elizabeth April. It was an AI generated video, and it said it was Elizabeth April, but it literally looked exactly like Lily Nova. Okay, it literally looked exactly. I was like, are they basically copies of each other? Like just a little bit version different, like they just feel so similar, guys. If you really want to see what that looks like or feel what that looks like, just look at their work. It's like they'll give you some truth, and then it'll just be like, oh, Charlie and Erica Kirk are together up in heaven, and Erica's actually a really good person. It's like, oh yeah, did you get that $7,000 from Israel too? Did you get that $7,000 from Israel too? Like Elizabeth fucking April. Okay, yeah, there was never any orgies, I guess, there when you were there, Victor. I didn't get invited to them either. So it's fine. Mm-hmm. I know, when she said that Erica was a good person, that was what I was like, okay, she's fake. I was like, I'm done listening to her. All right, I think I spilled it all, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, if I'm not invited, I highly doubt Victor would be invited too. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Not that I would ever do anything like that, but just to get the invitation, it's like you just want the option to decline. Like, oh, really? Me? No, it's okay. You guys go have fun though. You go have fun. Let's go ahead and pull the fortune cookie and let's do the tarot cards. And if God tells me anything else to say, then, well, see, I knew I wasn't the only one. It's always good to get the invitation. Boost up your confidence. Now I'm like, God, at these conferences and bringing my best A game, doing my hair, my nails done, getting the best outfits on, and I don't even get invited to the blackmail orgy. Like, what the fuck's that about? My chopped liver over here? Was it Brokeback Mountain only? Is that what's going on? Okay. Let's go ahead and pull a fortune. Okay, hold on. I gotta clear the energy for a second. I gotta clear my body. Okay, let's choose the right fortune cookie. What do we need to know? What does the collective need to know? I feel this one. Okay. Okay, here we go. Well, that's what I imagine when I hear this blackmail between Aaron and Tyler. I just want to like face at them with the Brokeback Mountain. The picture of them, like the cowboys hugging. I just can't quit you. Like that type of thing. That's what I see anyway. But if you are gay, guys, it's okay. We do not care. No one cares about that. What they care about is you trying to maintain an image that you're something you're not. That's all we really care about. You can't go out there and lead people in a certain way and be giving them advice like, be yourself, but then you're not being yourself when it comes to who you really are and not telling us. Okay. Like trying to act like you just got clean off Suboxone and that you're not taking any kratom because you don't want people in the community to know. Because why? Like, I don't know. That bothered me, and it also bothered the person who was doing the interview, and so I just wanted to take issue with that. Let's see what God has to say to us. God, we need a message. I'm just going to ask that you please come down here and use your magic and give us a message that we need to hear. Okay. Today is the tomorrow we worried about yesterday. Today is the tomorrow we worried about yesterday. Interesting. So I guess the point would be that worrying really gets you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because look, we're here today and we're good. Today is the tomorrow we worried about yesterday. Okay. That's what the collective needs to hear. That's what the collective needs to hear. I'm going to get my cards out now. Thank you to everyone who has stayed this long and listened to my spiel and the whole thing. Yeah, Susan, sorry. I know you didn't know I was going to be talking about all this, but I know you try to stay out of it is what I'm saying. Susan is not involved in any of this, so don't ask her. Like, she's a good girl. She stays in her own lane. I love Susan so much, and she's who I'm going to be staying with at the conference, so I'm really excited. She's got fairy wings now, too. We're both going to wear our light up fairy wings. Okay. So, not only do I have I have a treat for us today. My son David, he bought me this oracle deck called Woodland Wardens. Very fairy-like. So we're going to pull a card from this, and then we're going to pull a card from some cards from the tarot to see what the energies are for today. So if you have managed to stay this long and you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button for me. And if you're new here and you like what I'm saying, or it just entertains you somewhat, or you hate it even, I guess, but you want to come back for more, please make sure to subscribe. Help me get my subscribe. And if you're watching at a future date, if you could, leave me a comment. Leave me a comment, because any type of interaction with my video helps it gain traction. So I really, I would appreciate it. I will definitely say a prayer for you. Okay. So let's go ahead and, yeah, yeah. I know, Victor. I don't mean to put you in the middle of it. I know I'm like going after your main crew. I'm so sorry. Because I really do respect you as a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was worried about how you might handle it. Okay, I'll just be real with you. I was worried. So I hope you can forgive me. Okay. Let's not put any of that energy into this, though. Okay. We're just going to say a little prayer. Do humbly request that you please assist us in doing this reading. What does the collective need to hear or know about the current energies for their life? All right, this is the last shuffle. Oh, I absolutely love shuffling this deck. This deck is so easy to shuffle. It's so nice. It's perfect size. The cards slip over top of each other like so perfectly. I really couldn't ask for a better deck of cards. Okay, so what does the collective need to know? What is the message the collective needs to know? No, don't flip over. Okay, we'll do it like that. Okay. What does the collective need to know? 1, 2, 3. Woo. Oh, we got a beautiful card. I mean, they're all beautiful. But this was one of my favorites. In fact, me and my son David, we went through every card when I first got the deck, and this was one of the ones I absolutely loved the most. And it's the eel and the iris. Oh, that's funny because my first tattoo, I don't know if I can show you guys. I don't know if you will see it. Oh, is that the wrong shoulder? Maybe it's because it's the wrong shoulder. See that? That's an iris. Look how faded it is. Oh my God. I need to get a new one. You know, I never understood in the long run why I chose to get tattoos on my back because I can never fucking see them. And I forget they're even there. And it's kind of sad, right? Okay. Sorry about the double glasses. Whatever. So we got the eel and the iris, which stands for safety. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh. Iris. Iris is the name of my daughter's great grandmother, in fact, and she was a former nun who literally found her husband and then left the nunnery and ended up having all her children, who ended up being, my granddaughter is part of her line. If she hadn't left the nunnery, then my daughter wouldn't even be here. And in fact, she even answered one of my prayers when I asked for a silver cross from Jesus as a symbol of my faith to him. I asked him to send me one as a gift within the next week. I gave all these specific details. I said, within the next week, I want someone to gift me a silver cross if I'm worthy of it, if I have earned it through my love and devotion to you. And I want it to happen in this period of time. And I want it to be given to me this period of time, a silver cross. Those were the 3 things. And within the next couple of days, my ex said, my grandmother, who was a nun, wanted me to give you one of these. And he held out 3 silver crosses. 3 silver crosses. I got to choose one. So when I think of Iris, that is the story that I think about. Okay, so this book, okay, so let's go ahead and see. It does have a number on the top of it. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Just looking up the number real quick. Okay, here it is. Oh, you're going to show me that, but then you're not going to show me the page number? Well, that was nice of them. Okay. Patience is a virtue. Hold on. Here it is. I found it. Okay. So this is our oracle deck reading, our oracle card. Eels are oh my God, what is that word? Eels are furtive creatures, often burying themselves in murky depths. The idiom, slippery as an eel, refers to the eel's ability to escape harm. The iris is the tall, hardy flower from which the fleur de lis, a medieval symbol of power and victory, is derived. Together, the stealthy eel and the mighty iris indicate safety in our homes, our relationships, and work. It says upright is now is a good time to establish healthy boundaries. If others take offense, do not fret over their reaction. Stand firm in your power, like the iris. The questions they want you to ask yourself is, what do I need in order to feel safe? And how can I extend that safety to others? Okay. So that was our Woodland Creatures Oracle deck. I really like that for us. That was nice. Safety. We're safe. So I guess I'll be safe. I just try to tell myself that the only people that ever hear it are the people that are showing up here. That's how I get through it. I'll be real with you. That is how I get through it. I just pretend. I just like completely, go into this delusional space where it's like no one but the people that are in the chat with me the night I do the stream are even really watching, right? Maybe a few other people afterward, and they leave little comments like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I missed your stream. I watched it now." Things like that. Like I'm so small, right? I like being that too. I do. It feels safe. It feels safe. Okay. Oh shit, we got stuff at the top. Okay, energies might be a little bit sticky right now. Okay. Back into prayer mode. Oh God, please assist me. Assist me doing this reading for the collective. Please let it reach the ears of everyone who needs to hear it. Needs some guidance. Please speak to me clearly and directly in a way that people can easily comprehend and understand. And show them exactly what the card means for them. The cards mean for them. Let them know it in their heart. And let it assist them on their journey forward closer to you. Yes. Okay. We're ready. Okay, let's go. All right, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, baby. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, shit. Oh, my goodness. Okay, goodness gracious. Okay, so the first card we got, oh, babe. Okay. First card we got is the Queen of Pentacles, which I actually really like this girl. I like the Queen of Pentacles. She's very solid, very grounded energy. She's very focused energy, okay? Like, it takes her a while to figure out what exactly she wants to manifest, but when she does, let me tell you, she knows how to direct like a laser beam her attention and her focus into getting exactly what it is that to creating exactly what it is that she's trying to create. Okay? Like, it's how do I put this? Because they're giving me this whole energetic message about it, but it's like, how do I put that into words? It's reminding me of this Adventure Time character, which is this snake woman who lives in the underworld. And what she does is she takes this clay and she molds it to be a living being, and then she gives it the kiss of life. Okay, and so she uses this clay and gives it the kiss of life, and she creates all these things with it. And the only time that she ever takes issue, she loves her job, she loves doing this, she loves creating these things, but there comes a point when death actually stops life from being able to come into the world or whatever, and that's when she has to fight for what is hers, and to get that ability back, so that way she can continue creating the beautiful things that she wants to create. Okay, so if you are trying to manifest something, okay, like, you really need to stay focused on it. And if you are the person that is and if you are doing the manifesting, it is very important to have something that is protecting you and shielding you, like to not be bothered, so to speak, while you're focused on this thing. I just get this feeling. The reason I get this feeling is because she's got this cape on, and I keep being drawn to the ideal that in Game of Thrones, when they got married, that was what they didn't exchange rings. The man would say, I like basically I cloak you in safety now. I'm going to protect you now and be your husband and protect you. And so now she is able to be fully herself. So that's the thing, is like when you're protected, when a woman has that safety of feeling protected by masculine energy, she is able to blossom and open up and be her fullest self and be able to create the things in this real world that she wants to create, that is from God, that is beautiful. Okay, like that is what she is trying to do. She's trying to create things in the real world, bring something into manifestation that is solid and has structure. The only thing is that she can be a little stubborn because it's Pentacles energy. So she can be a little slow. You can be a little slow, a little stubborn when it comes to maybe figuring out what it is that you want to create, because as you can, like the pentacle in itself, it's like it's not an actual shaped object yet, you know what I'm saying? But whatever, it's almost like whatever is inside this, like it's in your mind, okay? And the whatever is holding in this bubble right here, that is the thing, right? So it's like get your mind's focused attention on whatever it is that you're trying to create. So like for instance, if you're trying to manifest a house, right? If you're trying to manifest a new home, you're going to want to you're going to focus on seeing yourself in that home. You're going to put out the prayers like, God, please show me which home is best for me to start imagining myself in, and then start doing it and claiming it that it's yours. You know what I'm saying? Like I see yourself, I'm already in a safe home. I'm already have exactly what it is I need. You can do this with just about anything, with money too. Like every single day I pray over my water and I thank God for the abundance of money that I always have flowing in, and how I can spend with joy because I know that he's always going to flow a river of money back into my life. And I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to do real world examples over time and building up, sharpening my blade so that I can be a master manifester, so to speak. So I can shape my reality in real time. You know, I think I'm getting there. So this is what they're asking you to do. They're asking you to do something very, very similar. So you need to feel safe, you need to feel protected, you need to feel focused, and you need to not worry about what it is you lost. I know it's hard. I know it's hard not to look down and see those empty cups and feel sad and be like, oh my God, that thing that I love, all those emotions, all those feelings, you know, and it's gone and it's never coming back, that thing. But you're focused on the wrong thing. Don't be the Queen of Pentacles focused on the loss, because if you focus on the loss, what are you going to get more of? So you need to focus on what you have behind you, which is this Two of Cups, which is an agreement. It's an arrangement. Think about the Two of Cups of tarot itself. It is a meeting of minds, an intimacy, an alchemization, an acknowledgement, a partnership. Okay, that is still for you. It's still there. You just need to turn around and redirect your focus, because if you're focusing on what you don't have anymore, you're just going to get more of what you don't have, and you don't want that anymore. Okay, and so finally, the last card we got here is the Ten of Pentacles, or Ten of Swords. Sorry, Ten of Swords. This is a very harsh guy. This is a very harsh card to see. Okay, so if you're focusing on something and you're manifesting something, and this is you, you know, and you're like, oh shit, and I'm focused on this bad stuff that happened and I'm sad about it. It's time for that to be done and over with. It's time to stop overthinking everything like this. It's time. You've reached the point where you have thought about everything to death. You've thought about everything to death. Okay, and now it's time to take all of those thoughts that you have in your mind, put them aside, and create something real. It's time to rise up and create something real in this world that isn't just in the mind and in the imagination, which is exactly on point for the Queen of Pentacles, right? Because that's her job. Her job is to be this royal figure who is swift of mind, but is able to focus on what she wants and focus on it in an intense way to where she actually creates it and is able to give it the kiss of life, so to speak, and bring and manifest that into reality. Okay, but it's time to stop looking at what you lost and thinking about what you lost. That is done and over with. It's okay. There are things on the horizon that are positive and good coming for you, but you have to be willing to turn around and look and stop overthinking about it and doubting yourself and telling yourself, no, like there's one more thing I got to think about. There's one more thing I got to think about. No, there isn't. You're done. Stop thinking about the stuff. Do the thing. Okay, lastly, the hidden energies we got. It's kind of funny because we got the matching partner to the Queen of Pentacles, we got the King of Pentacles. So the hidden energies, isn't that funny that I was talking about the queen needing the cape and it being offered as safety and protection so that the woman can fully bloom into being her true self, her most creative, like the God self in her, coming and merging with the ego personality and fully blooming into the flower that it's supposed to be. And I was talking about how a man, masculine energy, has to protect that Queen of Pentacles in order for her to be able to really focus and manifest good. Well, this King of Pentacles, he is there. He is hidden. He's behind you. And yes, he is here protecting you. The divine masculine energy is protecting you and looking down and making sure that you're safe. I mean, he's got a very, I'm just noticing the expression on his face, and it's very peaceful, loving, calm, kind, connected, collected. Okay, he's got a big heart. Okay, that's why this big old pentacles is on his chest. He's wearing his heart literally on his sleeve, so to speak, even though that might not be something that's normal for them. You know, again, the pentacles energies can be very stubborn, you know, even when it comes to, but you know, they ultimately, they want a King of Pentacles energy. They want to be able to share their love. The problem with Pentacles, I'm just feeling into this. The problem with Pentacles energy is they have a hard time receiving love back. So it's almost like he's looking down with love, but it's like, is he going to allow himself to receive that love back? Is what I'm feeling. Okay, so this is very much Taurus energy. So they do love beautiful things. Okay, they love luxury. They love, you know, really good food and really nice clothes, like comfortable clothes, comfortable things. You know, they want people to come and visit them. They don't want to have to go somewhere. They want people to come to them and ask them for things. So there's this hidden energy of this divine masculine, or let's just say it's probably going to be a man figure in your life, where yes, he might be slow to act. He might be stubborn, you know, bullheaded, so to speak, but he's kind. He does have a kindness to him. He does have a good heart about him. He does want to be generous. They are generous, and they can be generous with their wealth. Okay, they can be generous with their money. You know, they might, now if this is like an opposite type of situation for you, if you're feeling the opposite, maybe they're being a little bit stingy, because I am thinking about someone that I know. Okay, at this point they're coming through. It's like, okay, it could be signaling the opposite of that, and maybe that's hidden. That's what God is telling you. What you really need is, you need a man who is generous, who wants to care for you, who wants to see you blossom into the fullness of who you are as a woman. Okay. And I know that feels like more like I'm more directing it towards all the females. Okay, but hopefully God will help all the males in the audience be able to find a way where they can fit this into their own life, because obviously I'm coming from a woman's perspective. You know, I'm trying to think of anything else that they might want me to add about this King of Pentacles. I just get this really benevolent feeling from him, like he's really just like he's looking with kindness upon whatever it is that he's looking with, whatever it is he's looking at. Okay, so that I won't go on and on, because we've been here a long time already, I'm sure. Yep, 2 hours. That's what I said I would do. I said I would do 2 hours. Okay. I hope that you guys found that helpful. I hope that I didn't go into too much drama for some people. I don't know. Like I said, I was a little worried about, you know, just the reactions I would get. But I was like, you know, it's not like they talk to me or anything like that anyway. It's like the people that I really care about and the people that I really respect and look up to and think that they're the real deal, like all those people feel the same way I do about this stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to lean on their strength a little bit. I'm going to lean on their strength, and I'm going to step up, and I'm going to use my voice to say the truth as I see it. And that's all I could ever say, is the truth as I see it, and hope that I find some people that connect with that and that it clicks with them as well. And yeah, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here for true love and connection. That's what I'm here for. I want to help other people make true love connections, and want to make some for myself. Friends, soul family, my kids, my mom. Yeah. Had to do a lot. I had to do a lot of stuff yesterday, guys. Oh, that, you know what? That's the one last thing. I'll end on this. You guys want to hear a dream I had that came true? Because all my dreams come true, right? All right. So I had a dream because God, I'm obsessed with this Tamagotchi life, right? I didn't go very much into this game about how I do think that this game is somehow connected into the collective consciousness in a way to where it's doing really creepy, weird things. Let's just say that. Okay, I'm going to just say that. But anyway, I had this dream the other night that I was in a bubble with Matthew Mornian. I'm going to tell you. Okay. Sorry, Matthew. I didn't tell you this, but you're about to hear about it now if you're still there. If not, sorry, but we're going to talk about this. I had this dream the other night that I was literally in a giant bubble with Matthew, and we were like floating around like we were in space. We were like this. We were just like floating around like we were in this bubble. And there were all these like sparkles and flashes that were going off, these little bright lights that were going off. And I was like, I woke up and I thought to myself, what in the hell was that dream, and how will that end up coming true? Because all my dreams come, how is that going to show up in my life, right? So later on that day, I'm going to play my Tamagotchi life. I have to sound it out because it's not Tamagotchi, it's Tamagotchi life. And obviously, I told you guys, I made Matthew. Matthew's in the game with me too. Matthew, Honora, Chris, Selena, Joanna, my children, like David Wilcock, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk. Like, oh, I made Hitler. My son made Hitler actually, and he transferred Hitler over to me. Oh my god, just as a joke. But anyway, it was hilarious. So I was playing this game, and I was just checking on all my characters, and I was zooming in on my daughter's character, and we were outside in this area, and she was blowing a bubble. And as she blew this bubble and it got bigger, behind the bubble was me and Matthew, and we were walking to this area where there was this firework podium. And so it looked like we were in the bubble, and then it said, it triggered, it went ding, 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 and it said, "What's up with Aurora?" That's what it does. And then it does a cutscene. And the cutscene was me and Matthew watching fireworks on Tamagotchi on Akhaten Island. I named my island Akhaten. Yes, the Akhaten Island. And yeah, we have fireworks on it. And so that was my dream. My dream came true. There it was. I got a little sneak peek at my next day, and in my next day, me and Matthew were put into a bubble with fireworks. So on the game, on Tamagotchi Life. Hilarious. Yeah. Oh, wait. I want to read. Hold on. Aww, Chris. Isn't it? No, like you guys don't understand the things that it's doing with our character, like, because I don't really control them. I get to choose certain options, but for the most part, like, they develop feelings on their own. Okay, like Honora, her character, and my daughter, they got in an argument the other day. It was really funny. I'm like, what are they even arguing about? I leave for 1 second and they're arguing and they're like throwing things at each other. And like Honora's like, I could do this all day, and she's throwing things, and I'm like, what in the hell's going on? And so then they stopped fighting, and it said, "Still good friends?" ? In red, which I'd never seen that before. So that was interesting. I was like, oh no, they might not be friends anymore. I was like upset about it. And so Honora was all upset. They were both upset, and they had like these fumes coming out of their head when they're upset. And so you need to have another me character help them get out of that. And so I took Chris and I put Chris by Honora, and Chris did this dance. He went like this, and he stopped, and her happiness meter went up a little bit, and then he went, and then the happiness meter went up again, and then he went like real crazy, and it made her calm down, and she was happy again. And then her and my daughter went and they apologized, and now that actually made them ultra friends. Is it sad that Tamagotchi life is teaching me in a way that it's making me look at relationships like this, where it's like, wow, you know what? Conflict is actually an opportunity for people to grow closer. You know that? Look at my hair. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Like I see it all the time now, and I'm just like, wow, like this game. Okay, I'll stop now. I'll stop. If you guys have the Switch or the Switch 2, and you play Tamagotchi Life, let me know, because they do some hilarious things. People get married, they have babies. I mean, they don't ever do anything obviously physical or inappropriate because it's a kid's game, right? But um, like people can get divorced, they can break up, they get fights. They just don't like. Sometimes they have a talk and they don't like what the other person talked about. They get bored. Like I gave them all the option to change their own clothes. I like to see what kind of clothes that they put on, they choose to put on. And I think it's funny because Chris always chooses to put on animal outfits, and he does like to dress up. So it's funny, animal outfits. It's so funny. Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't read the fucking chat without. Okay. Yeah. The dance was fucking stellar. The dance was stellar. Okay. Oh, on that note, you know, I think we're about done. Just remember, we started off with 15 million merits. That's what we started off with, right? Started off with the Black Mirror episode. So if you managed to stay this long and you enjoyed the Black Mirror episode summary, let me know, because I'd be willing to go over another Black Mirror episode, which I probably will even without the encouragement. But let me know if you liked it, is what I'm saying. Let me know if you enjoyed the summary, if you can see what it is that I was mentioning, and what your thoughts are on it. Any thoughts or comments? Okay. And if you are gonna be going to a conference this year, come out and see me at Mount Shasta in July. Awakening the Dream. Um, there are a few of the speakers that I kind of am wanting to, that I haven't seen before speak. There are a few of them that I haven't, which is rare considering how many conferences I've been to. So I am kind of looking forward to that a little bit. Yeah. On that note, I love you guys. Yeah. Oh shit. Is there anything else? I guess speak now or forever hold your peace, guys. Oh yeah. That was good. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I know you have a bunch of onesies. That's why I was like, how in the hell does it know? How does it know? How does the game know? I don't know. Oh, Barry popping in at the end. Were you listening the whole time? I hope it was okay. I didn't go too hard, did I? Like, I don't know, guys. I didn't go too hard, did I? I don't know. You know what it is? Yeah, why are you never in my, you know what? I want the, you know what? Maybe it's because we never met in person. I just get this feeling it's because we never met in person. And so therefore my mind doesn't know how to comprehend you. I feel like you have actually. In fact, spirit is like, I feel like you have been in my dreams, but I don't know how you are represented. You're not represented as it's you, because I don't know what that it's you would look like. You know what I'm saying? Unless it was, I mean, I guess you could instinctually know, oh, that's Liz. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't. I want to dream. I want to dream with you in it. That would be so much fun. Yes, you've been here, Barry. You were listening to the whole thing. Wow, what an honor. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Hold on. I'm reading Miss White Swan's thing here. I tell you what I dreamed of and I saw about you and others, and you're like, oh my God. Yeah, yes. Oh, I know you have psychic dreams all the time too. We're definitely connected in the dream space. But like I said, I think I just don't recognize you because I've never met you, your physical vessel, and I want to, and that's on my bucket list. Kimberly, thanks for being here. It's on my bucket list to see you, Miss Liz. I want to come, but I have to get my passport if I'm going to come to Canada, and you have to promise to protect me from those ticks and shit, because like I know you live out there on like a ranch or something, right? We're not doing no outer range shit or nothing, right? Actually, I'm not saying I wouldn't be down for that. I'd hop in the outer range for a little bit. For any of you outer range fans out there, it's a show that me and Miss White Swan watched at one point. I got my mom to watch it too. She was like, "This is crazy," because my mom's not really into weird stuff like that. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's called Outer Range. It's on Prime, and it's I don't want to give too much of it away, but it involves a portal and a little bit of time travel. Yeah, you got portals in the ranch. See, please, like, as long as you promise to return me proper. I would love to come visit you guys. I would love to. God willing, God will line it up. Because, like I said, like, love and connection is what I'm here for, and I know that we and you are connected. You're soul family. All right, I can feel myself drained. I did it. I poured it all out. Have you considered watching Outer Range? Oh my God. I'm about to end, Joanna. I'm so sorry. But yes, you have to watch Outer Range. I'll text you afterward and we'll talk about it. Yes. Yes, you're right. Oh my God, that would be the perfect trip for me and her. That would be the perfect trip. You know what? You should watch it tonight, Joanna. Maybe I'll rewatch it because I've been wanting to rewatch it. It's so good. It's really good. Okay. Yeah. Oh, just remember. Yep. Just remember this one thing, guys. Just this one thing. Just remember.